One, the northern students here, some of them don't get better care, and some of them don't have parents. Those who have parents, some of them are so stubborn. And I also want to contribute to the issue that when I want to talk about education in the northern region, first, we look at the children and the parents and teachers. I was once an education oversight committee member at the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, and we used to monitor the schools within the northern region, especially Tamale Metropolitan. So when we started the monitoring, we realized that some of the teachers were having faults. Some of the students too were having faults, and some of the parents too were having faults. So we were deliberating on that particular issue up to date. We haven't found a solution to the problem. We don't know which we should tackle to get a solution to the problem. Here we say, what can we do to help our children learn? One, listen to them and pay attention to the problems of the children. Two, read with them at home. Three, tell family stories to your children. Four, limit their television watching. And for that matter, they will not go further to fail exams again. 5, share favorite poems and songs with them at home. 6, have books and other reading materials in home. 7, take them to library, get their own library cards for them in order to enable them to be participating in the library process every day. 8, discuss the daily news with them. 9, visit them in schools. 10, meet with their teachers and discuss their challenges with them. 11, find a quiet place for them to study at home. 12, review their homework whenever they come from school. I think these are all suggestions I want to put across to see how do we do to enable our children to also cope up as compared with their colleagues down south. If you look at another issues again, these our television centers are so many in the northern region. And the dancing, what do you call it? Dancing places. They organize dances for them whenever they are having occasions like outdoor ceremonies or wedding ceremonies. It is the children who are supposed to be in classrooms or JSS or SS leavers who are supposed to sit at somewhere and learn. Those are the people who are at the dance ground. And at the video centers, it is almost the students who are almost occupying the video centers. So if you watch all these things, it is also contributing to the downfall of our children in the northern region here. For that matter, their failure of education. So what do we do to share ideas, to get a solution to this big problem which we are all facing in the northern region here? I will break here, and if there's a contribution, a question, or a recommendation, then we'll move ahead.
The same education, but some of our communities, we do have some of the facilities. Like as to ICT, for example, when you come to the cities, the children there can go to ICT, they have ICT that items in their schools. But going back to the villages, they don't have it. So I don't know if we can consider that
Education Oversight Committee, and then Parliamentary Select Committee who came from Accra to find out what is really happening in the North here concerning our education. So we, on behalf of everybody in the northern region here, we have read everything, what we wrote in our notes to them. So according to them, they said they will work on it. In a month's time, we will hear what is, will come out from them. So we have addressed all these things, and we have given them.
When it comes to school fees, it becomes a problem. So that has been the challenge.
Thank you. It's true. Student and your parents cannot afford to pay your fees. You have to write an application letter for sponsorship, photocopy your admission letter, attach it, and give it to your assembly member to send it to the assembly level. When the sponsorship is ready, you get your share. That's what normally. One man is having 5 wives, 6 wives. The whole family, none of them will be attending school, and they don't care. They ask the children to go to farm or to go and carry pants at the market and look for money. When they are supposed to be in classroom to learn, some of them are outside, and a lot of people are at homes. At my electoral area, I used to organize some of them, especially the disabled, to do well and educate them. Otherwise, you are growing old. You will leave them. And in the future, how do they also take care of themselves? And those polygamy we are talking of, that one is already there before we were giving birth to. So we cannot stop it. Only what we can do is to educate them. We need to talk to them gradually. For them to understand.
Stopping polygamy. I'm saying serial polygamy.
When they do not come in to their home, they will go out and look for the goats and sheep and whatever, but they do not care whether their children are in bed or not. But that issue aside, there's an issue in a family where I know of a particular girl. At a time when she's supposed to be sleeping, that the TV was supposed to be off, she should go to bed and sleep. The stepmother will only come to the hall to do something or just to check on her and realize that the girl is sitting under the TV set and had made sure that she lowered the volume to the extent that nobody will hear it externally. So she will be there watching the TV, but the parents will think that she is in her room sleeping. She attends the school to Yumba, I believe many of us know it. And they have a drama club that they have some of their children that go onto radio stations to talk to parents about how they should give them proper care. Then I told this girl, can't you join your school club so that you can also go onto radio to talk to parents and to talk to your colleague and other things? I'm just going to quote her. She told me that being snobbish, she doesn't have time for those things. And it's like, apart from parents being responsible, some parents have been their best, but the children are not responding to. And I've been trying to find some solution to it. Where is it coming from? Because the parents of this girl are both educated, and they have a teacher who comes to teach them after they return from school. They have somebody who comes to teach them. And they have good living. So I still can't fathom why this is going on, why the girl has become so stubborn. And not only her, there's another girl behind the house who also does that. And not because they go to outreach or parties. Sometimes you go onto the road and you see children around 11, 12 a.m. p.m. They are roaming, but their parents are sleeping. These children do not go out, but they are in and have made sure that they do not sleep or they do not revise their books. I've been trying to find a solution to that, or just a reason why this is happening.
In Ghana, we do not do anything about parenting. We don't talk about parenting tips enough. We don't, and to be a good parent is also a situation of some privilege. You know what I'm trying to say? If to be a good parent, you have to have access to systems that allow you to be a good parent. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So it also goes in hand with poverty. It goes in hand with lack of access to things that empower you to be a good parent. If you're going to be a good parent, the society in which you operate has to enable you to be a good parent. Some of these things that we say read to the children. If you're not educated, you need access to libraries. You need people who will sit in the libraries and read to the parents. To grow a child in Ghana right now who reads in the rural areas is a very difficult thing, because nobody is selling the books, and maybe most of the time the parents cannot read. So when we think about parenting, we also need to talk about, we live in a society that does not empower good parenting. So that even if we wanted to be good parents and sort of raise literate, well-educated people, that takes money and access. And we want to build systems where it is easy to educate parents. So I don't want to, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking people are blaming parents. I am a good parent, but that is because I have access to things that make me a good parent. And we don't want to make that an issue of privilege, because the children who actually need the best parenting are the very ones that whose parents we do not provide support to. So we have to think about how we empower parenting. Not to always be condemning bad parenting, because it's not like people are born bad parents. Bad parents are created and good parents are created. That's what I'm saying.
I also have a few issues that the reality is not that things are that poor like people see. If you are looking at the South and North, we all have the same myriad of problems. But let's come to look at the real issues. First of all, let's look at the public institutions, the primary schools. How many of you would like to send your kids to the primary schools these days? And it's across the country. So first of all, we should look at what is happening in the public schools, and let's look at the differences. And I did some researches, and I realized that most of the reasons why the southern schools are performing, or southerners are performing more than the northerners, is that we have more private schools within the southern sector. And with this, they are able to bring out one or two things. Because if you look at the public schools in the north and the south, they are just the same. Systemically, they are the same. And let's look at parenting also. If you are not mentioning parenting, you won't have come out to say a lot of things about that. But within the north, we lack investment into education. I think we don't see the need to invest in education. So that is one of the reasons why we still have these fuel gaps. So let's look at how we can invest in education. Let's look at how we can even bring infrastructure, like the woman said, so that this little boy in Fashini who has never seen a computer, the little boy in Nanton who has never seen a computer, will at least also have that ability to touch a computer and see what it feels. So that when we are writing these exams, we can be able to compare the two. Because if I've never seen a computer, someone who has seen a computer, and they are also all going to write the same exams, I think we can do better. So, madam, it's not as if all the issues that we are supposed to address, but these are some of the things we are bringing out so that we can